What is going on, YouTube? We are back past the prog, ready to go for some college basketball, NBA, ready to get after it today. It is the 10th. We're already halfway through February already. Dude. It's flying again. We get NBA for a few weeks here before we start moving into some MLB stuff. So we live, we adapt, and we keep going. So now we are on to some basketball, and hopefully can cash some bets with you guys today.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's sad to see football go. Obviously, it's been a fantastic season. It's always good to walk away in the green with more money in your pocket than you started. So feeling pretty good about it. Obviously, it was a fun season. Won a lot of bets, had some interesting sweats and some good long shots. So NBA's been good. We've had a good start in the basketball world, and I'm just excited to keep it going. I've been betting a ton of basketball over these last couple weeks, and I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Obviously, big game yesterday. We had the Eagles and the Chiefs. Anything you want to say about that, Stu, before we get into our NBA stuff?
I mean, yeah, it was an interesting. I mean, it wasn't the most fun game. We got a lot of Eagles fans in the community, so those guys enjoyed it a lot. They got to celebrate their win. Jalen Hurts defeated the beast. He made Patrick Mahomes, and the Eagles as a whole made Patrick Mahomes look human, which is not something that teams have really been able to do that much. I mean, sure, the regular season's been whatever, but that's been their MO each of these last couple of years. And when it's been playoff time, it's been belt to ass. They've taken care of business, and it was a role reversal this time. Philly went in there, and they took care of business. And obviously Patrick Mahomes, interception after interception. I mean, if you bet anything on the Chiefs outside of Xavier Worthy, you probably lost. And I guess Juju Smith-Schuster as well. I mean, it was pretty brutal. Like there was never really a chance. That defense just pressured him. It was, funnily enough, with Tom Brady on the call, it really was a throwback to that game where the Buccaneers just never gave him a chance. It was total pressure from the very beginning. And the Eagles, they deserve their credit for that, obviously. They went out there and they took down Patrick Mahomes. So shout out to you guys. I was very sad. I had, bet the Chiefs, division rivals, never want to root for the Eagles out there. But I know these guys are happy. So good for you guys. Congrats on the win. A lot of dope people in our community had a great night last night. So I wasn't one of them. I was, drinking my sorrows away, obviously, but we're here to fight another day, and we got some NBA to bet on, so we can push that away.
Yeah, no, it would have been worse if we were actual Chiefs fans, and you're just sitting there, lives, So, let's get into some NBA. We'll probably move through these a little bit quicker. Like last show, we had probably 50-50 on comments on each way. I know. Some guys liked it that way. Some guys liked it faster. So we have a lot of bets today, so 2 apiece. So we'll be able to, get into those and try to move a little bit quicker than our long, crazy breakdown there. But closing off the season, obviously didn't end the way we wanted to with our bets, but we still ended up almost 14 units profit there, and that's all we can really ask for. Throughout the season, pushing 20, we were getting a little greedy there, and obviously kind of can be when you're close. But we're moving from that number. I believe baseball last year we were almost 20 units. Obviously that's a long time. That's obviously coming up here again. But basketball, we're here today, 7.45. Been rolling on these long shots, and hopefully we'll be able to catch a couple more today as we move along. So, Stu, I guess we can start us off here quick. Game we're looking forward to today, 9-game slate, awesome slate today. Could see Luca in a Lakers jersey tonight, even though they're 15-point favorites in that one. Any thoughts on the whole thing with Mark Williams before we get started?
Yeah, I mean, that suddenly becomes the game of the day 100%, right? Anytime you get an absolute superstar, changing teams, going to a new spot, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be must-watch TV. And obviously the curveball of the week, the thing that fell under the radar as everyone was watching the Super Bowl, enjoying their weekend, was Mark Williams no longer being traded, right? That whole thing got reversed due to a failed physical right there. So that will be interesting. You're stuck with Jackson Hayes now. I don't think that's what they wanted. My first tweet was, they should reach out and see what Dwight Howard's doing these days. That's what they did last time they needed a center, but who knows? Who knows what they're going to do. to combat that, because obviously that was a big part of their strategy in making that move right there. And now you kind of lose a center like that. So it'll be interesting. I'm excited for the game. We'll talk about it a little bit later, maybe for some long shots or something like that, or some other props as well. But yeah, definitely excited for that one. My game of the day tonight, though, will be the Wizards and the Spurs, because I'm going to go tonight. So that has to be it. You know, we're not normally picking our teams, but I'm going to be there. So it's kind of cheating if I don't pick that one, you know. French International Day, you know, Wemby versus Bilal. They got a little promotion, free bucket hat going, you know. So I'll be there, you know, front row. Let's go.
Yeah, no, love that game. It should be a fun one. Obviously, I think they're like 12-point dogs, but I mean, it's hard to pick a team that would be a single-digit favorite against Washington right now with injuries and all that. But yeah, the Kyle Kuzma experience is an interesting experience. He plays good for a couple minutes, then he misses a dunk, tries to do a fadeaway three that he airballs, and then makes a good play. It's just like, what the fuck, dude? Like, this is like a roller coaster every 5 minutes. But obviously, he hasn't played with Giannis yet, so I guess it makes it a little bit different when obviously you put a top 3 player in the NBA in the lineup, you know. So there's that. I know you had to deal with that experience for a couple of years over there. I think my game of the day, I think it's the Sacramento Dallas is the game I'm looking forward to watching most. But dude, it's hard for me to not want to watch this Blazers team because they've just been wagons for me, bro. They've been so nice to me because they're still disrespected. Like every single game, they're like 5-6 point dogs, and they're like, all right, well, this team's won like 9 of their last 11 games. Like, how are we not moving lines? I guess it's because no one watches the game at fucking 9:30 at night over since they're in the West Coast. But man, dude, this team has been really good, and I'm looking forward to continuing to bet them. They're like my Carolina Panthers, even though Carolina wasn't really winning all of those games, they were covering, right? And that's the thing here is Blazers are actually winning the games and playing really good basketball at that. So that'd be the game I definitely want to look forward to seeing them face off against Joker. So a little bit different.
No, 100%. I mean, they gave us a pretty nice slate for post Super Bowl. You know, looking around, there's a lot of good games. So no complaints here.
Beautiful, beautiful. All right, Stu, you ready to get into it?
Yep, let's do it. Let's do it.
We will. I won't start off now, and I'll let you kick off in your game here tonight, the game that you're going to.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Poole was kind of an easy click here. It opened at like 20.5 and got bet up already. It's at 23 in some spots now. That's probably the max that I'd play to. But there's a lot of reason why. Obviously, it's getting steamed up here. One, Washington is kind of in a spot where, I mean, it's not too good. They traded Kyle Kuzma. You already mentioned it. It was Poole and Kuzma were kind of fighting for that alpha role, that number one scorer. It was kind of a 1A, 1B situation. Now you take away the 1B, and it's kind of the Jordan Poole show, right? It's a pool party. It's what we were saying last year a little bit more. And he has more free reign as kind of the point guard, as the primary ball handler, to have the ball in his hands as much as he wants. And honestly, like this matchup against the Spurs here, who out of the gate, out of the trade deadline, you know, people were obviously looking at them. Chris Paul back and healthy as well. And it hasn't been great. I mean, in their last couple games coming out. And obviously, I think they played an insane amount of road games in a row as well. This is now another road game, obviously out in DC before they get to head back home. So I think it's kind of a tired team that isn't playing their best ball right now, that has some new additions, obviously, at the point guard position. For me, looking at this right here, I mean, Chris Paul and De'Aaron Fox starting next to each other in the backcourt. What do we call that? Barbecue chicken. That's what we call that. That's crazy. I mean, Castle needs to get in that lineup right now. If they want any hope of defense, maybe they pull the trigger and do that tonight. That's a possibility. I could see Castle entering after them struggling with that starting lineup. But Paul's been playing well. He's the veteran. In a team like the Spurs, you don't really make those quick kind of decisions like that. And for me, I think Poole's going to get a lot of great matchup opportunity here against a backcourt that I'm not scared of defensively at all. And when you look at even more, obviously Wembanyama kind of being a deterrent in the paint. When we look at Jordan Poole's profile, a lot of it's mid-range, it's outside. He'll drive to the paint, but I mean, he's an outside shooter. He's a volume guy, and that's kind of what you want against the Spurs team. You don't want a guy that's overly reliant on driving against the 6'7" or 7'6" shot blocker, right? That's not really the skill set you're normally looking for. So I think Poole kind of schematically fits this game well. I think the volume has been great, obviously, without Kyle Kuzma so far. And I don't see a reason why the volume wouldn't be great moving forward. So we have a good matchup right here. And yeah, I think it's going to be a little faster paced, a little bit of action here. And I think Washington can obviously keep up and keep this game close enough. Although Poole does really play in blowouts as well. I mean, he's going to get his 30 minutes in pretty much no matter what, and he's going to get his 20 shots up. So with that kind of volume in a good matchup like this, I think he gets the job done.
Yeah, I know. We talked on the phone a little earlier, and I'm just like, it's tough, bro. It is really tough for me. There's like those core numbers, like for me where I'm just like, I was getting his points assists at like 25.5. And obviously I was feeling good there. Obviously his assist numbers are going through the roof just because the ball's in his hand at all times.
Yeah.
So it's always tough when I get to these spots where it's like, fuck, what if he doesn't shoot the ball well? And then I'm like, oh, he's going to probably shoot more. He's probably going to get 20-something shots up. But it's just for me, it's like with Wemby, it's like you pretty much eliminate paint. Like you can't score in the paint, and I need him to shoot well from three. Obviously, him being at home is something that's nice as well. But I think if I'm going to play him, I'll probably ladder up some threes maybe in this spot, or even throwing in that option for a double-double as well, just because I think that they're going to know, like, Bilal, I know he's had a couple good games, but, I mean, his offensive game is pretty limited. He's very good in transition, and he's good as, like, a slashing type of guy. But for me, I think that's going to be kind of where I'd like to go. With Poole, because I'm just nervous about Wemby, bro. Because Poole is going to do those fucking 27 dribbles and try to get his way to the hoop. But like, okay, you get to the hoop and you have the best shot blocker in the NBA down there, So it's like it scares me a little bit. So I'm going to almost go to threes. I think that might be where I transition to.
I agree with that. I think he has a lot of volume from three. But like when you look at this team and when you look at who's more equipped to score from the outside out of anyone, it's Jordan Poole. I mean, maybe Corey Kispert as a role player is a slightly better outside shooter.
Is he starting now or no? Is he starting?
No.
I saw he was getting a decent amount of minutes, though. He's getting like a lot of runs.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Kispert. I might play him tonight. The problem is it's too crowded now. Keyshawn George is back in, or he's questionable. I expect Keyshawn George to be back in the lineup.
Yeah, that's someone last game, right? He was out last game.
Yeah, he did not play. He did not play last game. But he played the one before that without Kuzma. So I do like George as well as like another outside guy. But me, like I think Bilal, the effort's going to be there. The French connection. I think you're going to see him attack. But that's a much worse matchup. He relies on winning in the paint, right? He relies on kind of slashing to the rim and getting there. Well, Jordan Poole's the guy that I could very easily see taking, 10 threes, a bunch of deep mid-range. Like I'm much more comfortable with Poole against a shot blocker than anyone else on this team. And that's why I ended up going to him, except maybe like fucking Malcolm Brogdon, who plays like 13 minutes a game.
For sure. We're going to be heading to my next play, and it's not a prop. I'm actually going with a total here. I'm going to be going with one of my Sacramento first halves have been wagons for me. If I got any of the guys that are in my VIP group in here, bro, I played this so much. Like, it's a ridiculous amount I've played Dallas or Sacramento first halves because they're perfect. They are the perfect team for that first half because, yes, they tried to play defense in the second half. It doesn't work, but they don't score as much. That first half is so open. It is awesome. I played it against Oklahoma City, right, a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week. Bro, they gave up 80. You know why? Because they fucking can't guard anyone. They don't care to guard anyone. They can't guard the three line. They don't play any defense in the paint. And Sabonis, I feel like early in his career was a foul-happy guy, and I feel like now he's like, oh, shit, I'm actually good. I can't be in foul trouble every game. So, like, he gives up so many of those easy ones. Not saying Dallas can exploit the paint that well, but still, just another thing there that you don't see him going for those blocks as much as he used to early in his career because the dude was just a foul machine. Let's talk about some numbers here. Let's talk about it. So we have Kings at Dallas. Kings right now are the second worst team in defending three-point shots. 38%, bro. That's what they're allowing on the year. That's horrendous. And now you bring in Zach LaVine. He ain't playing no fucking defense. Add that to it, right? Then the tough part for me is the reason why I love this Sacramento team is they just have spot-up shooters, and then they can play out of the high post and get wide open threes. Dallas is a bottom 10 team in defending the three ball as well. They can't guard the three either. And you just have Keegan Murray in the corner. You got Zach LaVine up top now. Malik Monk can pretty much get whatever he wants because the space is so wide now. Like, you have to guard out because Keegan Murray at home, phenomenal shooter, obviously. LaVine, what is he, 35% from three this year? And then obviously Sabonis can pretty much do whatever he wants because he's playing out of the high post and just getting the ball there, kicking around. So looking at that spot, love it. Then you want to just look at first half numbers. Dallas on the road this season is allowing 60 points per game in the first half, 55 at home. So that's going to be obviously where they're at here. But again, you look at Sacramento, dude. They give up 61 points per game on the road in the first half. That 61 is crazy, bro. And then you just add the pace of this game. It's going to move, man, especially when you got Kyrie at the top, dude. This dude's going to run up and down and just try to get some buckets. I did not know Max Christie was as good as he's showing out there. Maybe he decides he's that good now, but really hope PJ plays for this number. I think it could actually go up if PJ plays because obviously he's been phenomenal this year. But, dude, this Sacramento team has just been so good for this number, and I'm going to continue to play it until, hey, maybe we play a lick of defense, dude. Like, even a little bit. But they just don't. Like, they just can't. I don't think they can, and I don't think they care to do it. They want to outscore you. They got the pieces now to do it, right? I mean, you got elite shooters everywhere, and then you got DeRozan just doesn't fit. I don't care what anybody says. DeRozan's fucking backup 17-foot mid-range does not fit on this team, but whatever. But again, just more offense in this spot, and I think Dallas is pretty much going to be able to do whatever they want to do offensively, and Sacramento obviously has got the pieces to pretty much do run and gun with anybody. So sign me up. I'm going to play this again.
Yeah, no. And what you like about Sacramento is they have so many different options, right? Like, so many different guys can get hot. You know what I mean? It's none of them you love like extremely individually, but as like if for the total purposes, like we just need one or two of these guys to get going. And obviously you're in the right direction. Dallas obviously has Kyrie to answer back right there. Gets a little bit thin after Kyrie. Obviously that's kind of the concern on the Dallas side is who else is really carrying the load. Like Klay Thompson is kind of, he's playing good ball, but it's like up and down, inconsistent, I guess. I hate backing inconsistent guys, But Christie, I almost played him on the show, man. 12.5. I mean, with how he's been playing 30 minutes a game.
It kind of scares me, bro. Like, why is it only that low? He's been playing so well. That's the only thing that ever gets me nervous,
Yeah, it's also like guys that come in and randomly score like 17 points a game for 3 games. We don't have any proof he can keep doing that in history. You know what I mean? So you're taking a leap of faith, when you bet something like that. But I do agree. And I think he's playing really good ball. I've always been a fan of him as like a role player. So I'm probably going to personally play a little bit of 12.5 points on Christie today.
Good looks. Let's take a look in the chat. This is interesting. How many minutes do you think this dude plays tonight, bro? He hasn't played in, like 32, 33?
I was going to say like 28 to 34, but probably 32, 30, something like that. If it's like a really close game, which I probably won't be, maybe he gets up to 33, 34. But most likely, I think like dead 30 seems like a reasonable first game back kind of pace.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like it's been like a hand injury, where you can continue to do your cardio, right? It's tough when it's something on the lower body messing with you. So it's tough because like you just need volume and what is it, a 13-point spread against Utah tonight? Yeah, a big number. And obviously when we start thinking about this and we start thinking about bets in a blowout, Stu's the guy here. He's like that first quarter, let's get after it here.
Yeah, and to be honest, I do like Clarkson in multiple different ways. I like his full game. I like his threes. I even thought about maybe splitting, going 5.5 and then threes is kind of another bet. But I think the most mispriced clearly is the first quarter market. So instead of splitting it up and, making it more complicated, we'll just go to the first quarter market. We'll go to my favorite one. I do like the Clarkson's guy, played obviously on this like squad before. Like there's some emotional, like LeBron. He's a guy that I like stepping up like against the superstars, because Jordan Clarkson, if you're not familiar, he does think he's a superstar when he's got the ball in his hands. The guy sees gold. I mean, it's green every time. The light is never not green. I mean, Jordan Clarkson is truly Jordan Clarkson's biggest fan. It's kind of, I like the stylistic pair of Poole and Clarkson, because they're very similar. They're very trigger happy shooting guards that sometimes play point guard, but they're out there to score. I mean, these guys are scorers, microwaves, right? And I think for me, Clarkson without Sexton is like, hell yeah. Like I was telling you, we were talking about the Trailblazers earlier. My one problem with the Trailblazers is like, I like all of these guys. So when I go to bet, it's tricky because I'm picking between three guys that I like. I like a lot of these Jazz guys as well. I like Collier, obviously. I like Sexton. I like the whole squad over there. But for me, as just like, they're going to need scoring in this game. They're clearly going to need scoring to keep up. Luca Doncic is obviously the star of the show. Everyone's going to be watching this game. For me, Jordan Clarkson's come out in 2 games without Sexton. He's played 9 and 10 minutes, and he scored 9 and 14 points in those games. For me, what I always say about first quarter, the golden rule is, can I get more shot attempts than points for the number? Because if the volume is just as high as the total, I want that every time. And the guy's averaging 6.5 shot attempts and 3 threes in the first quarter alone. So if I'm getting 3 3-point attempts, right? If I'm getting multiple, mid-range attempts, like, I love the volume here. And Clarkson's an aggressive guy. This isn't a surprise to everybody. When you put him in that lineup, he's going to go out there and try to score the ball. And now he's playing with a less shooting hungry point guard. He's playing with a guy that's great at spreading the ball around. Like, for me, I think this is a great spot for Clarkson to come out a little bit aggressive and get going. So with 9 to 10 minutes projected right here, with 6+ shot attempts, I just think this number is very good for a guy that we know is going to be aggressive, and we know is already over in both games without Sexton here. So I like the full game. I'll probably play a little bit of ladder action as well. Maybe some threes ladders is kind of what I'm thinking, because he's been shooting a lot of them recently. But yeah, I think there's some good value here, especially with an increased pace with Luca Doncic, a little bit less defense and a little bit more offense in general. I think that's a good game script for these guys if they can just keep it, somewhat close, which I do think they can do.
Yeah, I'm just worried about later in the game, but obviously that doesn't matter when we're here.
Yep.
Love me some Collier, dude. That dude's been very nice for me. So
yep.
Obviously cast the long shot on the last show with the double-double. And I'm heading to the team that you don't like, betting on these guys. I'm going to go to them. It's tough because this is a tough matchup, right? You got Denver in Denver. You got to obviously worry about blowouts. But my thing is with Anthony Simons is, yeah, in my opinion, he's 1A, right? He's a top guy here, right? When it comes to the end of the game, this dude is the guy putting up the shots, right? Like at the end of these games, it's not Denny, it ain't Ayton. We're not watching Scoot, who's been terrible these last couple games, mind you. But Anthony Simons is putting up a ton of shots, right? I think it was 17 shots per game over this month, over his last 5. And for me, I look at this Denver team, and I don't really like Ayton that much today, having to go up against, Jokic in that spot, who's been really, DeAndre Ayton's been actually really good when he plays. Like, he's actually been pretty good. But like I said, nobody really watches him. And then you go to Denny Avdia. That's the guy I'm really worried about for the assist numbers, right? I'm kind of worried about him because he's been playing really, really well. You got Aaron Gordon now, bro. Like, that dude, that sucks. That sucks. I was seeing some numbers on just like plus minus and all this stuff, and just how much better they are with Aaron Gordon in the starting lineup than when they had Russ. It was absurd. And yes, they get like big numbers with Russ because Russ is out there just high flying, doing his thing. But like, you can't put a price on what freaking Aaron Gordon does for this team, dude. Like, he allows Nikola Jokic to pretty much not really have to do much defensively, because he just shuts down year 4, right? Year 4 is just shut down, and that's who I think they're going to obviously roll with here. I don't see him guarding Kamara in this spot, right? The lefty for Portland here. And then it comes down to, hey, how many shots am I going to get up and how many assists? Over the last 10 games, 9.5 potential assist numbers in these games. And when you look at Denver, just I like to use fantasy points because that's what I'm playing DFS all pretty much whenever I can, when I can actually get a chance to switch my lineup at the last second. But just look at going off of FanDuel numbers here. Like, I'm going at Denver against point guards this year. They're allowing 10.02 assists per game to point guard, 24 just regular points. They're elite against point guards in terms of them getting rebounds. So it's like 4.5 per game. So I'm not going rebounds. I don't have to touch that. But they're not good at stopping point guards from scoring because obviously you got Jamal Murray there. Like, I'm not worried about that. Christian Braun's a decent defender, but obviously he's guarding the 2, and then maybe I get him to guard some Scoot when he gets because they kind of stagger them, where Braun kind of gets a little bit extra run after the first 6 minutes, kind of sits, and then he gets to play that run where we're going to see, Scoot out there and just running like a chicken with his head cut off, throwing up everything. So I really like Anthony in this spot. The tough part is obviously the elevation and the spread. But Anthony Simons is just kind of got the volume where I don't really have to worry about it that much. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if he plays 28 minutes, the dude's getting up 16 shots in those 28 minutes. And on top of that, eliminating one of your higher usage guys or highest potential assist guys. I believe Denny's at like 7.8 over the same time period over his 10 game sample size here. So it is probably one of the worst matchups. Maybe Jaden McDaniels, right? Maybe Jaden McDaniels kind of beats Aaron Gordon, but Denver at home, and then you take away one of your top usage guys in terms of Denny in this spot. Maybe you grab Denny rebounds, but I don't think he's doing anything on the or anything in the points department. I think there's going to have to be point guards running the show, whether it be him, whether it be Scoot. I just talked about Scoot, maybe getting Christian Braun on that second half with no Russ, and he's getting a lot more minutes, and he's a lot better defender than Russ is right now. I really like Anthony Simons, love the volume, and I think this one is a fun, high-flying game.
Yeah, no, I like the call about Denny, too. I'm a big Denny fan. I've been watching him for a while. Gordon's probably the worst matchup for him in basketball because of the physicality, right? Not only can he match the size, the speed, and everything, Denny wins by kind of shoving people out the way in transition. That like he's not like a technical beast. You know what I mean? He kind of he's physical. Even a McDaniels guy is skinnier. I think a lot of times Denny, it's not a great matchup, but he can kind of power through a little bit. You can't power through Aaron Gordon. You literally can't. Like, that guy's like a tank. You know what I mean? He's very strong. He's very, like, for a forward especially, he's got like a very good build down there as well. So I agree, it's a tough matchup for Denny. And when you take away one of the highest usage players, it's obviously going to be spread around more. And Simon's such a good volume guy, such a good outside guy, that I agree that's definitely the exact kind of usage profile you'd be looking to target in this game. So I'm on board with Simons. I like the look. He sold me.
Yeah. And again, you obviously go with those first quarter numbers. It's tough with Anthony because he doesn't play a ton in the first quarter. Yeah. They switch him up. So honestly, I think this is a good spot here. You just got to hope that they can maintain, that 8 to 10 range, and they've been phenomenal at doing that. The only team that really has blown them out, and I don't even know if I really count it as a blowout because they lost by 16 at Minnesota, right? And I believe they were like 12-point or 13-point dogs in that game. In Minnesota in that spot. We're getting a spot here where, it's 9.5. I think it's a little bit easier, staying on that side. Traveling to Minnesota would be a brutal spot right there.
Yeah.
I think this is a good spot for Simons, and hopefully the Trailblazers keep this close. Maybe I'll have to sprinkle a little bit on the bet too of I think they're plus 9.5 here. So hopefully they can get it done.
Yeah, I agree. Should be a pretty solid game too, obviously, with how well they've been playing recently,
Yes, sir. Let's get through a recap here, Stu. If you got a long shot, we'll get to those as well. I'll kick it over to you to start us off.
Sounds good. We got Jordan Clarkson over 5.5 first quarter points, -110. And I do like full game if you don't have first quarter. And then we got Jordan Poole over 22.5 points, -115. I'd play that to 23.5.
Beautiful. Be on the first half over in Sacramento, Dallas at 121. -110. I believe that's on DK right now. And then Anthony Simons over 25.5 points plus assists, -110 tonight in Denver. Tough spot to play, but we're going to roll with our boy Anthony Simons again tonight. Stu, any long shots catching your eye? Obviously, a lot of injuries, a lot of questionable tags. Makes it a little bit tougher this early in the day. I know Tatum, I know Brown, both got Q tags. Damian Lillard has a Q tag. I think Curry even has a Q tag there. Like it's kind of all over the place. Is there any spot that you're willing to throw some long shot down early?
Yeah, the only somewhat long shot I have is Luca Doncic 10 first quarter points at plus 230. I'd play it higher than that, but that's the only thing available. It's on Bet365 right now, plus 230 for 10. Like, that's the only somewhat of a long shot kind of bet I have down right now, just because Luca Doncic, the guy, averages 10 first quarter points. This isn't a long shot number. It's just all about health. So when we get in these situations where it's really all about playing time, you have no clue what the minutes are. I like 6.5. I know it's going to be one of the most popular plays. A lot of people I've seen already on that 6.5 coming out the gate hot. I'm going for 10. I think if he's playing his full minutes, if he's out there, he's active, then he's going to get 10 points. It's pretty simple. So, it's plus 230 on 365 right now. But it's not super widely available. I think ESPN has it around there as well. But yeah. But still a great spot, I think, if you have access to those books.
All right. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna roll with LaMelo. First off, I'm gonna play his double at plus 220. Or no, 250. Let me see. 215 on DraftKings. I didn't line shop this. So definitely grab that. If you guys have a better number, let me know. I'm gonna definitely be playing this at double at plus 215. No Mark Williams tonight, right? We ain't got to worry about that. Diabate questionable. I just like the opportunity to get 10 rebounds. I like the opportunity to get 10 assists. Like, I mean, you can get both. Like, it's not anything to worry about there. So definitely, dude, I just don't know. He's not even on the injury report today, which is really nice for me because obviously if you got a questionable tag, I'm not going to worry about it. But there's so many injuries on Charlotte. Even if he doesn't get his full 38 minutes, give me 32 in this spot, right? I mean, it's not like Brooklyn's any good. Brooklyn stinks. I get the totals low, but dude, LaMelo every time, dude. LaMelo's going to have the ball in his hand every single time he's on the court. So it's tough for me to get away from LaMelo. Can't really play him in DraftKings tonight, unfortunately, because he's LaMelo and has a fat price tag, and you don't know how many minutes he's going to play. But even if I get 30, I could still get to this number against an absolutely horrific Brooklyn team.
Yeah. I mean, I like this. LaMelo, I mean, a guard that can get there and assist and rebounds is very rare. And like you said, that center situation is a fucking mess. Like, who knows what's going on right now? No, I like this a lot. Obviously, assist upside, rebound upside. I'm not saying 10 points is guaranteed, but if it doesn't happen, it'd have to be an earthquake. It'd be very surprising. So definitely like this, maybe even a couple bucks on triple double if we get that.
Yeah, it's 18 to 1. I thought about it, but I'm like, I've gone crazy on a couple of these, and I've gotten close, and I definitely was sprinkled a triple double at 18 to 1.
Yeah, and I will say too, basketball season, this is a pretty obvious PSA for most people. If you are playing a triple double ever, build it yourself. Click 10 assists, 10 rebounds, and 10 points. You always get almost always get better odds. Shop it across a couple books. It's not like a secret or anything. The problem with double is you can't always do that unless you're sure what categories you want, right?
Yeah, I ain't guessing this one.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just saying that's for triple doubles. If you're doing triple double, build it yourself. You'll always get some better odds right there. But double, yeah, it's not quite the same hack unless it's like Clint Capella, and he's not getting 10 assists,
Right, so he ain't throwing that around with fucking what's his face, Trae Young, with over 23 potential assists a game, which
Clint Capella could be the point guard and he wouldn't get 10 assists. Okay. Like that would you know what I mean? Like you can always be safe hitting 10 rebounds, 10 if you're playing his double. But for a guy like LaMelo, the bonus, the upside is that you can get there either way. So you don't want to take that away.
Beautiful. Stu, you got anything else for the people? We got through this quick. I'm looking in the chat. I see Don Playa on Houston minus 4.5 first half. Bro, I don't know, bro. Baylor's actually healthy. I don't want to mess with them. I don't want to, dude. They got some good dudes over there, dude. Like Baylor's tough. So I'm not betting that game. If you like Houston, just bet the under, dude. If you like Baylor, bet the over. It's gonna be one of those types of games because Baylor doesn't play a fucking lick of defense. It's just gonna be.
Oh really?
It's tough, though. Oh yeah,
Is that their thing? All their guards used to be all these great defenders and stuff, right? Back in
the little guys, the small guys. They got talent now. They got what's it? Oh god, I'm gonna have to remember the guy's last name. It's a longer last name. He's gonna be a top 5 pick in the draft probably. So yeah, it makes it tough because when you're playing Houston, especially Houston at home, it's a fucking dogfight, dude. It's just Baylor's got a lot of talent on that team.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't bet any college, so I don't know. That's all PPS right there. Can't help you out.
All right, Stu. Anything else before we? I just saw your fucking your GIF that you just posted for the thing. I just opened up Twitter for the first time. That was the first thing that popped up was a fat Luca. So.
Yep. Hey, I googled Luca Doncic Lakers, and that was the only GIF that came up in the thing. So
fat Luca. That's
and we're backing him tonight. And hey, Fat James Harden gave me some of my favorite memories as a basketball fan. Like those days where he got traded, and I was playing DFS every day. And he was like getting ruled in right before, like you could late swap. He was getting ruled in right before lock. Nobody was playing him because he was fat and going to strip clubs every day. So people were like, this guy's going to suck. And he'd come in and he dropped like 40 and 12 for like a week and a half. It was amazing. Those Houston Rockets, like brief stint over there was like the highlight of my DFS days. So, shout out Fat James Harden and now shout out Fat Luca Doncic. I believe, I'm fully on board with it,
Yeah, I don't know if Luca's going to be at those LA strip clubs. I feel like he's too big
Probably
now.
not.
He's too big. Yeah, everybody knows Luca now. So maybe early in his career he could have got away with it, but I don't think he's getting that out now. So, all right, guys, we got 4 plays out for you guys quick. 35 minutes. We're kind of cooking through. This is kind of that middle spot, right? We did a 20-minute one. We usually have like 50 to an hour. This is a perfect middle spot. So feel good about our plays. Got some good plus money. Nothing too crazy on those long shots, but feel pretty confident in those ones to get it done for us. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Should be back Wednesday, ready to go. And obviously excited to continue this run of basketball. If we sweep this, we're over 10 units already in like a week and a half. So feeling pretty damn good about it. So thank you guys so much. Hit that like button on your way out. Subscribe to the channel and make sure you share it. Hopefully we can get some more winners for you tonight. So have a good one, guys, and good luck tonight.